right, cool. So I might be the only one joining us tonight from the team. Uh, Josh is pretty busy. I don't think he might be able to make it tonight. If he does, he might just pop in for a little bit. And Mark as well is pretty busy these days. But I'm going to be here to answer any questions that you might have about the updates lately. We have had quite a few updates, and so I thought there might be questions, things lingering on people's mind, and the how's the wax launch going? I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that because we've been saying a couple of weeks for a while now. So I can preface some of this with that we've been working on a couple of things in terms of the wax launch. One is the launch of a new website. We now have a full stack development team working on our website, and the intention has always been to launch on the Wax Atomica marketplace and sell out of our cards. So in the in the creation of that, it's taken a lot of building up certain steps, like having the new website come out, to figuring out where we're going to advertise, how we're going to do the drop. We had this whole problem where we had like almost 60 cards. I'm sorry, not 60. It was more. It's like 300 cards or more, where we wanted to sell out of those. It was like, well, how are we going to do that? We keep collecting more. We keep creating more cards, and it gets more and more. Essentially, there are too many choices on the shop. So we were trying to figure out, what do we do? Do we drop them in like pieces every week? Josh came up with a great idea of dropping them using packs. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be dropping the cards in packs, and basically each pack is going to come in a certain type of card. So it's going to be cyberpunk pack. It's going to be a fantasy pack, a space opera pack, and a metaverse pack. And you'll get a random card from each of those packs, and we're basically going to put together what we're still talking about what the name will be, but it'll be something like a mega pack or a hyper pack, and it'll basically be the Metasource card plus a royal card from Crypto Castles. And those are bundled together. It'll be a $200 pack for our first initial drop. So there will be a discount. People who have purchased our cards before the wax drop, we'll be taking a snapshot, and at that snapshot, you will then be receiving like a redeemable, either a royal card or a token that will allow you to redeem or be airdropped a royal card. We're still looking at how we're going to get the royals to people. One way is that we can give people a redeemable token. We're not sure yet if we can bundle an actual, if we have a Metasource card and it's part of the Metasource collection, we're not sure we can merge these two collections so that you can get the Royal card and the Metasource cards in the same bundle at the same time from the same drop. We're not sure that's possible, but we have options. Like, we can give you something redeemable that we can use to airdrop you something with, and it'll be like a non-transferable, maybe non-burnable token. Those are some of the changes. Most of you are probably aware that we've also decided to move the land functionalities, which was the land droppings and the land production of the Metasource cards, onto things that we call royal cards, and those royal cards will now do all the land production stuff. The Metasource cards still earn tokens. They still earn based on bonuses. So if you have matching card types, they still earn on bonuses. But we've just moved the land production features onto the royal cards because we think it'll be 10 times better for you guys in terms of trying to trade those. Because trying to like merge the land production with the Metasource cards never really, I think, sat well in terms of brand. And so now people will be involved in Crypto Castles. They're going to Crypto Castles collection. They'll be like, ooh, farms and castles and royals. And what do the royals do? The royals make the land. Instead of having kind of this other collection that's helping produce the land, especially the majority of the land, I didn't think that was going to be best for the way that people could trade their cards. I thought this just putting the royal cards into the Middlesource collection and making that all one brand together was going to be 10 times better for helping get traction on those. So we still don't have a firm date yet for the wax launch. The two big things I'm waiting for is when are we going to have our new website up, and what day are we going to advertise on Atomic Hub. So the closer those things get to being figured out, the closer we're going to be able to announce our launch dates. Let me drop this link right now. I just made a channel. It is called Contest. I'm going to drop a link there in 1 second. Let me go back and get the link here. All right, so there's now a link in a new channel I just made called Contest, and I put the link in there. I don't want to put it in the community chat because I just want it to be for people who are in this channel right now, who've come to the community event. And this was the best way that I could think of to do it. So go ahead, go into the contest thing there, and you can put in your Discord server to get basically a point in the entries, and then if you also give your wax address, you also get a point in the entries. For some reason you don't see that, send me a direct message or put it in or send a message in I don't know, community chat, I guess. I don't want the community chat to jump in there, people who aren't in the call, but or just in contest, let me know that you can actually see that, or that you can actually enter. So that this entry thing is gonna end in about 20 minutes. I had to put an end date on there, so there's going to be a very short amount of time to get into that giveaway. So you guys know that. Spontaneous says went pretty smoothly. Okay, cool. Because I'm kind of refreshing it, trying to see if anyone's able to enter. It doesn't look like it's updating for me right now. Okay, cool. So I am going to open up the floor here pretty soon on questions. It's really kind of the whole point of holding it this way. And especially instead of doing like a big live stream, because I don't want to get distracted by a lot of people who aren't really familiar with the cards yet or haven't bought a card yet. Because I've been talking and posting for a very long time about what the cards were, and since so much has changed, I want to make sure that I address all questions or concerns that people have about card changes and the wax launch. So that is really who this Q&A is intended for, is for you guys who are probably in here already or are coming in a couple of minutes. So the doctor says he got his 2 entries, all good. Debbie Metal says entered fine. If I win redraw, entered just confirms working properly. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. It's good to know that is working correctly, because it's still not reporting to me that people have entered, at least from looking at it on the web browser. All right, I think someone else joined the channel. So if you want to enter the contest, go to the contest channel. That is where you can enter the giveaway. It's going to end in about 20 minutes to the ability to enter. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor here, and someone can, I think there's some feature at the bottom of your screen somewhere for being able to like raise your hand. And you can go ahead and ask in voice chat what your question is. If for some reason you don't want to use voice chat, which I prefer you do, but if for some reason maybe you don't have a microphone, you can go ahead and post your question in the contest channel, and I will take it there as well. All right, so I'm ready for you guys. Let's see. Did that mean that you had a question, Debbie? Or you just, because you're a mod, you wanted to jump up on stage, which is fine. It's all virtual fun, right? Does this mean that nobody has any questions about the wax launch? Whoops. Whoops, sorry. I accidentally hit the parlor room by accident and it dropped me out for a second. Okay, I think. Oh, you know what? I think. I'm sorry. I think this was. Had a request to speak. I didn't see it. Okay, I'm still kind of new to this. So I'm gonna invite Nick Min, who we know. I think he changed his name. We used to call him Smeek. There we go.
Hello, Robert, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I think I didn't realize that that little notification thing was there. But thank you for joining me up here.
No, it's okay. I understand. Yeah, I did change my name. I've been meaning to do that for a while now, actually.
Okay.
I did have a question about the wax launch, more specific to advertising, like what you talked about a few months ago. Have you looked at any other social media platforms besides YouTube, like Float or Hive.io? Have you been able to look at
Uh,
those? No.
did you say float? What was it? What was the first one? Float?
Float, Flote.
I can't remember. I feel like someone's mentioned that one to me, but I don't think I looked
That was
into it.
me.
Oh,
That
was it
was me.
you?
Yeah, it was me.
Well, can you remind me what float is again?
It's a website. They're in the beta stage. They are going to be going to their first live version in Q4 of this year. And they are a platform that allows people to post whatever they want to post. Mainly it's political stuff for the moment, but they want to create groups for like crypto enthusiasts. There's a lot of crypto enthusiasts on there. If you live stream on there, you're able to do super chats like in YouTube. You can pay them in, for now it's Bitcoin, but they are working on adding more cryptocurrencies.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically able to share your thoughts on anything you want, and if people like it, they can send you some crypto to your wallet.
Okay, so you're able to create like a social media platform for people to interact with you, and they can pay you in crypto.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I haven't really looked into that one yet. I mean, it doesn't immediately spark. I don't know if it's a great idea yet. It's sometimes kind of difficult to tell with these platforms like this, where like they're early and they might be great
Mm.
ideas. They just haven't gotten enough traction yet, and it's not until they start to get a lot of traction that people start to go, "Oh, what is that?" I think I probably had at least a couple of people mention YouTube to me until I finally looked at it. Right. Back in the
Right.
day, it was like, oh wait, what is like YouTube? I think yeah, it wasn't a thing until it was really a thing. But yeah, I mean, float might be a great idea. I guess I think what we want to do is just buy like a day on Atomic Hub, and the reason I like
Mm.
that is because the audience is already there. I think one of the biggest challenges like we've had since the beginning is how do we reach our audience? I did Facebook ads in the beginning, and I mean it actually cost a lot of money. Like the first $10,000 I put into the company was like all ads, And it was because
Right.
I had to find my audience somehow. And back then, like, I didn't know what Wax was, or they didn't really have anything cool. I think at the time, at best, I think they had Garbage Pail Kids. So Wax, and especially Wax Gaming, I don't think was a thing. I think like not even Our Planet had launched by the time that I was spending all that money on advertisements. Um, so uh, so the plan now is to put some money into the Wax Atomic Hub, because we know the people there want this. They want token games like this. If you look at
Right.
their top thing, it's almost all token games except for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and like MLB Tops. But most of them, majority of them, are all like token based games. So I think that's going to be the most efficient use of our time. Because the other
Mhm.
thing with like using something like Float right now is I have to educate myself on it, figure out how to use it, and it's not that it's not a bad idea. I think I just can't promise right now that I'm going to be able to invest the time and the resources
Right.
into making that effective for us. Because we also probably have to start working on building our audience, but it doesn't mean that I can't whip it up one night and then start going from there. Um, but it's thank you for reminding me, because I had forgotten, and thank you as well for being one of our biggest supporters. You are one of the biggest holders of some of our cards, and I think a lot of our members right here in the chat with us probably already know that.
Right.
And But yeah, we really appreciate your support, and it's really helped us be able to do everything that we're doing.
You're more than welcome. I would just love to be able to, in a few years from now, I'd love to be able to just, with the pandemic and everything, just be able to sit back, and if something happens at Publix or whatever retail store I'm working at in the future, that I'd be able to still be able to make money by playing video games.
Yeah,
I just can't wait for that opportunity.
yeah. Well, that's
It's
why we're
gonna
here.
arrive.
Yeah, well, it's exactly why we're here, to turn video gaming into passive income and paid work. And I can't, necessarily promise anything from especially like, the financial standpoint, but it is why we exist. It's why I built the company,
Right.
and it's what I'm focused on every day, is educating myself on how to do that, building out the systems to make it necessary. And I've always seen this as kind of like a two-step process. One is you
Mm-hmm.
have to build the systems that work, and and bring in the people to come and play. I think those are kind of the I don't want to say the easy part, but there is another factor, which is globally economic. Crypto is growing very quickly right now, and and we I see a future where the global economy can support people like us playing video games and making a living. Um,
Well,
I was just thinking about this morning, where I was like, people used to have to make their own clothes because it was too expensive or too hard to go and do it elsewhere.
right.
And you'd have to get some cloth from somewhere, or get it off of like rags from someplace. But what I'm saying is that economically, it used to not make sense for a lot of people to go and buy clothes. Like, it wasn't something you would do. At most,
Mm-hmm.
you would buy the cloth to make the clothes, and then someone in the family would know how to make the clothes, and that would save you a lot of money. But the point I'm trying to make is that progressively, more and more things will be brought to us for lower price points, and
Mm-hmm.
um, and that eventually, to me, is going to filter up to, well, now we need people to contribute to the economy somehow. And I think that's going to be through like these virtual video games. I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent, I think, in my last video about this, where I was talking about how there are plenty of people now who do make a living from just collecting crypto, or even like some of these crypto games. There are plenty of people actually who are now making a living off of like having bought Axes when it was like 50 cents or something, or whatever it was. Devi Metal, I'm sorry, not Devi Metal, but Mazinger might be on his way up there. and
Yeah.
But I think just goes to show that this is in fact happening. I think it's going to be kind of a slow process,
Right.
but we're at the very beginning of it. I think to be here now in blockchain gaming is kind of like being in Bitcoin back in like 2000 and 14 or whatever it is, when it was kind of like starting to be on the rise and before its big crash, I think in like 2017. But I think
Right.
we're kind of at that stage. We're at the stage where most people don't realize this is a thing yet, but most of us are
Mhm.
positioning ourselves. So, I mean, that's kind of my whole take on it. You guys know what I'm here for, and I really appreciate you being along for the ride and supporting us as well. Do you have any other
Um,
questions? Because I mean, because come at me with them because there's plenty of changes and stuff and things we've been talking about.
okay. Um, yeah, I did have another question about um, how did you come to the realization about moving the land production and all that from the Metasource cards and creating the new Royal cards? Like, did it just pop into your head almost like randomly? Because from a marketing perspective, yeah, it makes sense. Crypto castles, you have royals, kings, queens, princes. It just makes sense from that perspective. How
Mm-hmm.
did it come into your head? Or has
Were
it been on your mind for a few months now?
Well, are you also asking about the land production on the Metasource cards, like whatever made me think to do the land production period?
Uh, I'm asking how'd you come to the realization about changing the land production from the Metasource cards over to the Royal cards?
Yeah, that it's kind of like one of those things where I had a sudden epiphany, and you guys would laugh if you had heard the conversation that Josh and I'd had 24 hours earlier, because I had it really was like it came in an epiphany. What had happened was that I'd been covering Dungeon Swap, and on Dungeon Swap was this crypto game, and it was being made by this anonymous team, and I had missed the boat on crypto blades because kind of like philosophically I wasn't interested in crypto blades because the website was ugly, and I'm like, I don't want to become a developer who gets involved with ugly games like crypto blades and then makes ugly games like crypto blades. Like, I don't want to be that guy. It's not why we're here. So I didn't really get involved with crypto blades as like a philosophically as a developer, and but I had covered Dungeon Swap, and I was like, well, I mean, Dungeon Swap is kind of more my bag. They're going to have this kind of like old school RPG interface. They kind of have this dungeon thing, and in my head, I'm already trying to imagine the way that the Dungeon Swap dungeon might work. And in my
Mhm.
head, it's like ideal. It's perfect. I'm like, oh, so if they did all these things right, it would work out. Instead, it launched. And it basically was burning everyone's D&D. It was putting 30% of everybody's money into a jackpot. I talked about this when my video on it. I was like, when I found out that they were putting 30% of everybody's money into the jackpot, I was like, are they like jokers? Like, did they not realize that was going to put everybody at a 30% loss except for the jackpot winner? I was like, that was just terrible game design. And I got really triggered. I was like that's it. I'm like, I am done screwing around with our planet. I am done screwing around with Dungeon Swap. I'm done watching Gala Games like collect 50 to 100. Like, I think they've just between investments and sales lately, they have almost 150 to 200 million dollars in capital they've raised, and their user
Mhm.
experience is still crap. I mean, I know this is going to be like judgmental of me about them, but I just had it. I was just like if I'd been running that company, it would be totally different. And I also think, their vision is different from our vision in terms of blockchain gaming, and our vision, I
Mhm.
think, is going to win. We're gonna, in the
Yeah,
long
I
run,
agree.
become the bigger company. We're gonna have the better games. We're I got banned from their chat the other day. As I came in with a lot of opinions, and I didn't even get a warning. They just banned me, and I emailed Bitbender, who's their marketing, their like director of marketing. I haven't gotten a reply, and I was like, "Is there a way to appeal this?" Like, I didn't get a warning, and I'm just pretty sure I've been blacklisted. And I'm like, I think I was telling someone else this in the chat the other day, but I was like, you know it makes sense because we're like the Steve Jobs to their Bill Gates, and you really don't see Bill Gates and Steve Jobs making good friends. The
Right.
visions are just very different. What they're building is very different, and we're focused on user experience. We're one of you guys, and we want it to be ideal. We want it to be the best, and and so I got really triggered because I'm still answering your question. We're kind of like in the you asked me how I came to that conclusion. This was how I just got super triggered by the dungeon swap thing, and I was like I'm done, watching everybody else, not doing it the way that I think it should be done, and I was like, that means that we have to raise our game as well. Like, we have to raise our level, and the level that we're playing at. And I was kind of looking at the market trading system as well. And one of the big issues that I had was that if you look at the Metasaurus cards, since they're each their own individual mint, they don't have a sell history until somebody actually buys that particular card. So I was kind of like, I mean, it's not horrible, but when you couple that with the fact that those are going to generate lands and they're going to be leveled up, I'm like, it's not ideal. It's not ideal to have the land production on these cards. I think a couple of people just joined the channel, so I'm going to say really quickly, guys, you have about 2 more minutes to get into the giveaway. It is um, inside of the contest channel. Maybe, I mean, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can extend the deadline, because I thought this might happen, that more people would join towards the end. I think maybe I can change it. Let's give it like another 20 minutes. Let's see if that worked. View giveaway. Okay, I think I extended the giveaway into another 20 minutes. So if you want to join the giveaway, go into the contest channel, and there's a link there at the top to join the giveaway. Okay, so what was saying was that the sell history was kind of a problem, and then I was like, if I was trying to put my shoes of someone who saw Crypto Castles collection, saw the farm, saw the castles, and all that stuff, and they were excited for it. They're like, oh, like this Crypto Castles thing sounds cool. And then they figure out, oh, being able to produce lands is like one of the best features of the game, because then
Mm.
I get to like merge cards more often. If I can produce lands, I get to merge cards more often rather than have to go buy them off the secondary market. So I want to do that. I want to get my own land production. So the next natural thought is, oh, okay, so castles produce lands. But what they might not know immediately is that we have these separate things called Metasource cards, and that's where the lands were coming from. I was like, that's not an ideal experience for a new user who's just found Crypto Castles and they're not familiar with the Metasource cards yet.
Mm.
So I was like, if there was a way for them just to see in the collection very simply, have that all in one place, that there are the castles, and then there's another card that produces the land, I'm like, that would be ideal. So that's why I decided to create the royal cards, and we had all kinds of crazy ideas about this, and honestly, the change happened very quickly,
Mm.
like after that dungeon swap video, which was just a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is what needs to happen. It fixes a lot of problems, and it created some other ones, but Josh and I spoke for about an hour, and we hashed through all the ideas that we were having, and then we came to the conclusion that we should do it the way that you're familiar with now, which is that we would have the packs, and we would drop the packs with the type of Metasaurus cards, and then inside of those packs we will bundle the royal cards. So the royal cards are still only going to come from the Metasaurus bundles, But at least now, when those royal cards go onto the market, they're consolidated under the Crypto Castle collection, and we think that'll make it easier for you to value them and to trade them.
Okay. Let's see. And one other question I did have, if I can still ask, because I know one person's trying to get in after me here, but hang on, trying to remember it here. If crap, I think I just forgot it.
They have to do with the Metasource cards, the Crypto Castle cards.
Yes. I looked over the white paper, and when it says that the Metasource cards, depending on how many, I want to clarify this more. Is it for the getting the royal cards? Does it depend on how many Metasource cards that you have that you would get royal cards dropped into your wallet, or
Yeah, you will get one royal card per Metasource card that you have. So if you bought 5 Metasource cards, you will get 5 royals. If you bought 20 Metasource cards, you will get 20 royals.
okay. I think that's all the questions I have for right now.
Okay, and that reminds me that I've also updated the amount of bonus that you get from owning combined cards, since we removed a functionality from that allowed you to earn. Because basically we're allowing you to compound your growth or compound your earnings based on collecting cards, and but since now we're not doing that, we've just increased the amount of bonus that you get from having collected cards. I think it's 5% now per a stacking bonus. So 5% per matching type, and then a 5% bonus per a matching faction. So that was kind of how we decided to do that.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Samik, for asking your questions, and thank you for your support. And I'm going to take one from. Let's go from the doctor, because he's at the top of the list here. I think Jaron wanted to ask a question earlier, but he dropped out of it. But we'll just go by whoever's at the top here. Okay. Let me see. How do I do this? Invite to speak.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you, Doctor. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak on the amphitheater here and ask our questions.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. So I found it interesting how you changed the festival tickets and how those worked. So I see that there's now 3 different types of festival tickets, and I was curious what led you to kind of make the adjustments there. Like I'm very curious, and I actually really like the idea.
Okay, cool. Well, it's good to hear you like that change. Well, it's a good question. What happened was, uh, I thought, the idea of being able to merge and get more rewards was a really cool idea, as well as being able to monetize those rewards, or to kind of gamify it in some ways. So I came up with the idea of giving away like monthly rewards. I think earlier we said we would do them in like tri-monthly, but then decided this is way too long. Instead, let's just do them have like a big festival once a week at the end of the month, and where like suddenly we list the new festival rewards. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to gamify them. So I decided to make 2 of them. One would be or 2 tickets. One would be a ticket for a Dragon Festival, the other one for a Phoenix Festival, and then those tickets are are best for one type of festival. So if you have dragon tickets and it's a dragon festival, you want to use the dragon tickets because that will get you the most amount of points into the raffle for the rewards. And I was like, then if you have the other one, well, you can still use like your Phoenix tickets for a dragon festival, but they're not quite as effective. So it kind of starts to put in this, gamification. Like, do you hold on to your ticket, or is there like a card you really want to win for some reason? Is it just imperative that you use them now, or are you okay with waiting and delaying to use those tickets for the next festival, which will roll over? So it'll always cycle. It'll go Dragon Festival, Phoenix Festival, Dragon Festival, Phoenix Festival, and back and forth like that. And the other thing was like, I was like, well, that's kind of a cool idea too, but it gets kind of boring if you can only get, a Dragon Festival ticket or a Phoenix Festival ticket. And I was like, well, why don't we add in a third kind of ticket that gives you like, 5 times the points of a, standard points. But then what if also it's good for both festivals? I'm like, then that's really good. Like when you get when you get the ticket that is, do I call it the golden ticket? I forget what I call it. Maybe, no, it's the grand entry, I think. And when you get the grand entry, that's when that's when you're like, yeah, like I got a grand entry. Like that gets you excited, right? Because you really beat the odds in getting the grand entry, and that's the best one to get. So I was just really what is it when you get super excited? Euphoria. Really wanted to pump up the like adrenaline and euphoria on getting the on getting that card. You know what I mean? Or getting that ticket. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking, the doctor. Appreciate it. I think pretty much everyone in here knows, but I'll just double check and make sure that we have a giveaway happening right now where you can collect a. Just remembered I'm recording my screen, but that's okay. Where is it? Here's the giveaway. So I just remembered that for our giveaway that there's a link in the contest channel. It is ending in 10 minutes. That is the last chance that you'll be able to join that contest, and the winner is going to get a Cyberpunk card that is worth $250. So remember to go into the contest channel and join that contest. I think another person just entered, so I'll say it again. Join the contest channel, and the giveaway link is up there. So I'm going to take another question from Jaron, who's another longtime community member of ours. I think he was one of the earliest people to join the Discord, actually. I'm inviting him up to speak. See, yeah, might not see it.
There we go. Sorry.
Okay, cool. We got you. How you doing, Jaron?
I'm still sick as hell.
Oh no, that's right. You got COVID. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're live though, right?
I am alive and still breathing. Yes. Just my quick question is going to be, sorry, I'm still a little bit fuzzy upstairs. What's your plans on avoiding pricing people out like Gala has done? I mean, I've been fairly vocal since the beginning of Gala. I mean, I'm not really down on them, but I'm just a realist. And I saw a long time ago it coming where they're going to have to either A, do some clawback, which is going to cost them a lot of money, or B, even the playing field, which is going to cost them a lot of investors. Because yeah, they have a lot of invested capital in their company, but it's for the whales. The only people that can afford to get in on that now are the whales.
Right. Well, it's a good question. How are we going to, make sure that our NFTs don't price people out? I will say that ultimately the market's up to the market. If someone wants to charge $100 for a farm, and people are willing to pay that, we don't have any control over that. However, I will say that the entire point, actually, of the Crypto Castle's expansion was to atomize the earnings, because I know that the meta source cards are expensive, and one of the reasons that I made them so expensive is because they take a lot of effort to make. I made like the first like 10 batches or so of meta source cards, and they took a large part of my week. I mean, I was doing other things in the company to get the WeFunder up and running at that time. But it still took me like a lot of work, probably like 25 to 30 hours minimum that's when I started to get fast. When I started to get fast, I could make them in about 25 to 30 hours. But with all the rendering, even my computer's pretty decent with the rendering, it still took quite a bit of time. I also don't know what happened. We were rendering in DAZ, and DAZ updated their software. It almost like increased my rendering speeds by like 5 times. I guess they finally got the hardware acceleration right. But anyways, the way the reason I made crypto castles was because I realized that the cards were $250 each, might be expensive, and we needed a way to atomize those earnings, because I was also looking at, as I was looking at Our Planet and other things like that, and when I designed the cards at the first place, these things really didn't exist. I think Our Planet hadn't even officially launched when I invented the Metasaurus cards. So the idea of having an NFT that earns tokens that you could gamify was still almost just like non-existent 8 months ago. And so I learned a lot, but really the whole atomizing thing was like, so if you buy a $250 card, what if you could split that off and atomize it in some way, so that you could have like an NFT that might be worth $1 and up, and someone could buy that. If they can't buy a $250 Metasource card, or maybe now a Metasource card is worth $500 or $1,000 because they're so sought after, how do we make it so that we can still atomize those things into smaller pieces? So that was the point of creating Crypto Castles. So a couple of things there. One is that we have created like a linear progression system when it comes to the Crypto Castle's earnings, and also the way the whole ecosystem works for Crypto Castles is it's very linear. So the idea is that the economy is going to grow in a fairly linear fashion in terms of game economics, but in terms of the price on the open market, that's really going to be up to the open market. But I think we've done as much as we possibly can in terms of making the game affordable to play. Like you can still like buy cards and merge them, and one of my hopes is that, like, even if someone can't afford like a royal, or someone can't afford a castle, that someone can still like maybe buy a farm, a couple of times a week, and merge a card and get a chance at building things, and then eventually get themselves to a castle after enough time. So that was part of my hope in designing the economy, was that people could participate even at a farm level and collect earnings, and sell those to people who want to, and sell those tokens to people who want to use those tokens to continue merging or building new things. But we think that the royals and the castles are going to be pretty highly sought after in the ecosystem, and that's why we also allow you to create more in a linear fashion, so that so the production of the economy should have kind of like a linear upwards trend. So it shouldn't be kind of like crazy all over the place, or have major swings. I imagine not. I imagine probably a fairly consistent amount of people are going to be building lands and castles and stuff at a progressive linear rate, and that hopefully will allow people to price them better, and especially in terms of how the market is growing, or how many new players are coming in. And so yeah, Crypto Castles was really our answer into not pricing people out and allowing everybody to participate. Does that make sense, or do you have any questions about that?
Oh no, that makes pretty good sense. Like I said, you know, Gala just went off the deep end with hunting whales for capital, in my opinion, and I just want to make sure that, well, and that might be the right move for them. But I know since the beginning you've been adamant about the, excuse me, about like the game for everybody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Gala just went off the deep end. I mean, there is no entry point for somebody not willing to spend thousands over in Gala now.
Yeah, I do think it's getting kind of expensive with Gala Games, and I haven't bought anything from them in a while, but I mean I've purchased a lot of things. I've actually sold a lot of Gala things lately, um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, the whole point of blockchain kingdoms is that we created our job token, and the whole point of that is to allow people who can't afford, one of these, crypto tokens or something to come in and earn revenue from crypto. So they can share revenue with someone who has the ability to pay that kind of stuff. And we've seen that people love that. Axie Infinities has a third party tool thing called scholarships, where people don't have to own the Axies in order to collect the crypto, and they do revenue share with the players. I don't think it's yet officially supported by Axie Infinity, but I said this in my videos a couple of times, but I think that's like where they need to be focusing. Like if I was the CEO of Axies, I would be focusing a lot of my energy on the idea of the scholarships, and maybe they are. I don't know. I saw an interviewer ask him about scholarships almost 3 or 4 months ago, and he didn't seem interested. So either he was playing dumb, or at the time he just didn't think that the scholarships were a cool idea. For me, like that was one of the number one things, was that you could turn video gaming into work when anybody of an average skill level can participate. You don't have to be a pro or something. You can be of average skill level. That's when we've made it. When you can earn an average income gaming with an average skill level, and so that what do you call it? That philosophy does make its way into crypto castles in that fashion, and we can't guarantee that people will play it the way that we've intended them to play it. Something I've learned in video gaming is that sometimes people tend to break the system and play it in ways that you didn't intend. But I think I've seen that enough too to hopefully design something that works as intended. And the crypto castles market should have its up and downs. I imagine things could possibly be overpriced in the beginning, but hopefully that won't last too long. But then you never know. Maybe people won't like our cards, not buy them, but it's entirely up to them in the market. But we are doing everything that we can to set it up successfully and to set up an ecosystem in the Metasource cards and crypto castles that everybody can participate in. And it also goes to say that the Metasource cards in the secondary market should go for cheaper now, as well, because since now we're bundling the Royals with the Metasource cards, that might make them more affordable. And actually, come to think of it, Josh would probably yell at me for saying that because the bundled value of the bundled value might drive those up. I don't know, but I guess that's another thing. Is if the Metasource cards do become more expensive, even with separating them from the Royal cards, you still have the farms and the ranches and things like that, which will be of lesser value on the open market.
Cool.
Any other questions, Jared?
Nope, I'm good. I've just been, like I said, the last couple weeks I've been doing a lot of research into a few different projects, and I'm just seeing a lot of red flags and possible rug pulls out of Gala, and I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, well, my official stance on Gala Games specifically is that they have their own vision and they can do what they want to do. It does seem to me like they are probably more of a like more premium priced collections that they have. And it's up to them what they want to price their things at. People buy them, then people buy them. But I understand that that's not for everybody. And I come from a lower middle class background, and I know that not everyone has a lot of money to spend on crypto items. And so I want to appeal to people who are willing to spend a lot, and people who are also willing to spend very little for their collectibles.
Oh yeah, and that's a great thing. But I really can't get into the buy this new thing from us. We're not sure what it does yet, but buy it.
Yeah, that seems like the Vox that they have right now. I still don't know how they're DeFi. I might know if someone knows, please tell me in the Gala Games chat that we have in our Discord, because I don't know how they're DeFi yet. They keep saying they're going to earn game coins. I try to ask in their chat if they let you earn tokens. I let them know that I wasn't going to buy one of them unless they told us more information about the DeFi part. And I think that's one of the things that got me banned from their Discord, was because I was asking about that like every other day. But I really wanted to know. I mean, I'm interested in buying a box if they would just tell me how they're DeFi, but I don't know. They didn't want to.
I got booted out of their Discord as well when I said, how can you expect people to spend X amount of dollars on your product if you don't even know what it does yet? And then
when did that happen?
Oh fuck, I don't know, about a week ago.
Wow, that's hilarious. That's almost a week before I got booted. I didn't even know that, but that's interesting.
And
I
see,
mean,
that's my concern, the red flag, and the potential why I said it's a potential rug pull. Because if you're going to ban somebody from your Discord for simply asking a question, hey, why should people spend money on something that you don't even know what it does yet, and then just it's gone? I mean, I have a secondary account over there, and they have deleted all my chats and everything.
Oh, really? Wow, I think that's weird. I mean, I feel like I have a lot of thoughts about that, but I will say that um, that they've always said that they're and if you buy anything from them, that it's not an investment. And the way my stance on that is that they can say whatever they want about their collectibles. If they want to say they're not investments, then they can say they're not investments. I think it's up to the buyer as to whether or not they consider it investment. But I think if you're someone who's buying the Gala Games items, you have to take them at their word that they will basically do whatever they want with their items. If you go in buying a Vox, expecting that it's a DeFi character that will make a lot of money, that allow you to flip or generate you tokens that you can resell for money, I think I can't speak for them, but I think that might not be the case. I think they might not see their items that way. And that's one of the reasons, too, that I became progressively a little less interested in the Gala Games items, is because they have a different vision for the kind of collectibles that they are creating and selling. Maybe they're not just for me. Maybe they're for other people. I don't know who those people might be. There might be people with a lot of disposable income and just want to collect their cool digital collectibles. And if they ever get bored of them one day, they can trade them, and they don't care if they sell them for a lower price or a higher price. It doesn't matter to them. Maybe that's who they're targeting. That's not who we're targeting. We're here to turn video game into passive income and paid work. We're here to, to have the people who one day might lose their jobs to robots have another opportunity. So our vision and our collectibles are definitely, intended for different things. And I believe they have the full freedom to do what they want with their community, with their business. It's a free world. I don't think they're breaking any laws by booting me from their Discord. They're just controlling the conversation, and they're welcome to it. It's their business. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But and if I would if I was a community member over there and saw that go down, I'd have been like, wait a minute, well, what's the deal? All dude did was ask a question, and that's why I appreciate the transparency over here as to what this is what we're looking at, this is what we're doing, and this is how it's working.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is I always treat myself as your guys' equal. Like, I always try to put myself in your shoes. So if we ever have someone coming into our chat, like challenging us, it's been a while since we've had someone do that, but we've had it happen more than a few times. I'm not even sure we've actually ever banned anyone. We've threatened to ban some people. I think I kind of threatened you once, banning you, but I was just like, play nice. But we've said that we would give people one warning, and then if you don't follow that warning for the guidelines that we set, then we'll ban you to preserve the respectfulness in our community. So when I interact with you guys and you come in and again, it's been a while, but when we have someone come in and challenge me on something or confront me on something, I do my best to put myself in their shoes and to answer that the best I can, because there's typically something that they're trying to achieve or figure out. And I think if someone's trying to troll, it's usually pretty obvious. But still, we would just give them the warning and see if they're really just determined. You have to test. Are you just really determined to troll, or is there legitimate concern or thought behind what someone's expressing? I feel like, sure, maybe I might have seemed like a troll to the Gala Games people, but I felt like my questions were legitimate. I think one of the reasons I think I was also banned was because I was telling them that their password, what they're going to do is they're going to basically give everybody who is like a node member a password 10 minutes before the drop, and then they're going to give everybody who's a gold member the same, like, another password. It's a global password to the gold members. And I'm like, and it's funny because they announced that in an email after I was booted. And if I hadn't been booted, I would have gone in there and said, how many node members do you think are going to tell their gold friends what the password is? Like that. I was telling them that's not a secure way to do a drop. I feel like I'm kind of getting on a bash Gala run, which is not what I want to do. I don't want to trash Gala Games. I think they provided a lot of opportunity for node owners like me and other people. But what I'm trying to say, and why I started going down that path of the conversation, was that normally when people come in and they have an issue, it's because they have they think they have a legitimate concern, and you have to hear that concern out. And if someone's trolling, well, then it's usually, in that case, they're usually being disrespectful or something to someone, and in that case, that needs to be addressed. But I don't think I was being disrespectful in the Gala Games chat at all. But I think I probably triggered someone and got booted, and that's how that worked.
10-4.
All right, thank you, Jaren. We have a Spontaneous wants to ask a question. So the giveaway now has ended, so that has timed out. But we're going to do a drawing before the end of this conversation. And but I'm going to take this question from Spontaneous. Thank you so much, Jaren, for coming up and talking to us. All right, inviting Spontaneous to speak.
Hello?
Hello, Spontaneous. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I got off work, feeling pretty good.
Awesome. I'm great, thank you. I appreciate you asking.
Right. Yeah, so my question is, do you possibly see us getting a cap on how many farms there are in the platform?
No, not at all. I don't see us putting in kind of cap at all on what you can collect. Why do you ask?
No, I was wondering because I'm not sure if we're trying to see Crypto Castle as one giant map, or if this is a game of just having resources.
Yeah, I don't see it as a map-based game. It's more like you said, like resources. Like you'll have like 20 farms, and then 6 ranches, and a castle. It'll kind of come out that way, and your kingdom will kind of be these cards that you're collecting, because we think that just works really well for the stage that blockchain gaming is at with these collectible NFTs. It's an easy way to gamify it. In my thought, I was trying to create like the most perfect, early blockchain game that I could think of. But yeah, we're not going to put in a limit as far as I can tie it. I mean, unless there's some kind of technical limit, but I don't think there is a technical limit. I think like there can be many, many, many zeros into terms of like how many things you can hold on a blockchain, how many NFTs you can hold. There are probably going to be things like there might be like a very small I don't know, what would it be, like a 0.01 cent fee for creating a farm or ranch or something like that. But part of that's because as as more cards are created inside of our collection, the bigger the RAM size gets. It might go down as things are burned as well. I'm not sure, but so there's probably going to be
Right.
like a small microscopic fee in order to create new NFTs. But I mean, it should be very, very small compared to the value of what you're creating. But yeah, there should be no reason at all that you should have any kind of limitation to create stuff. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that definitely answers. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. No more questions? That's the only one?
Yeah, that's the only thing that was on my mind.
Great. Well, thank you, Spontaneous, for coming up. It was good to talk with you. And we'll go ahead and talk to Aleximus, who was requested to speak. Hello,
Hello.
Aleximus. You are live here on Blockchain Kingdoms.
Hi, Robert. Thank you so much. I hope that you're doing well. So I have a question regarding the job tokens. I'm not sure if this has been asked before because I haven't been too active in the community, but I'm just wondering if, because I've been seeing a lot of updates regarding like the 5v5 and the Metasaurus cards and those other stuff, but on the side of like the job tokens, I haven't heard too much about it. Like, do you have any like plans to release like a newer white paper soon? And do you have like any updates regarding the funding as well? So those are my concerns right
The
now.
funding, you mean like the equity
Yeah,
allowing you to
yeah.
invest as an investor through equity
Yeah,
crowdfunding?
the one that was previously not continued due to what was that the WeFunder was discontinued. Yeah.
A great question. To tackle the last question first
Yeah.
about equity, we are talking to a company called My Venture. They have an app. I think they're supposed to be having a website launching soon, if not already. They're kind of like WeFunder, but they're very, very new. Like they don't have a lot of people on their campaign, we've talked to them and they said that they're okay with us raising on their platform, that that they're good to go. There's a couple of things we need to do with them first, but so we're trying to find a good time to launch that as well, because we have some product launches happening very soon. So that's coming. It's probably not going to be a month. It's probably going to be something more like 2 or 3 months. But then we'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to invest equity wise into the company using My Venture. So if you want, you can go on to your cell phone. The website is also MyVenture, miventure.com. And they do have an app on, I think, iPhone. I don't know if they have an app on Android, but you can look them up as well, download them. They have an NFT marketplace, I think, that you can invest in. But again, they're very, very small. They're very new, but they might be kind of the right partner for us because we also did try, what was it, Start Engine, and Start Engine declined us.
Yeah.
But Start Engine said we could try again another 6 months, and maybe after we've made a lot more money, they'll look at us again.
Okay.
You had another question about the job token and where that's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're about 5 months into development on our 5 versus 5. The job token I haven't talked about lately because we've been focused on the Metasource cards, and also because the technology hasn't changed at all.
Okay.
I may go in and kind of do another deep dive into it, but right now I feel pretty good about the way that the job token technology works. When I first invented it, I was like, there's a problem I am out to solve. That problem is to allow video gamers to earn tokens in video games, and if they can't afford to own one of our job tokens to do that, I need a way for them in order to make it affordable to share revenue. And so the job token technology and the virtual supply chain was my answer for that. And as far as I know, last time I thought about it, it still works. And one of the big differences it has between something like farming or staking tokens is that it's active based. So you need someone to actually be playing in order to earn, which is, different from anything in crypto right now. Because everything in crypto is either time based or farm based. How many, like X amount of tokens earn you X amount of things. But with our when we do the job token, it's going to be based on how much time that you played and how high your job token is. So that is still coming. I'm doing some stuff with the patent as well, because we have patent pending for it and paperwork stuff I have to do. But it's still progressing, and Josh and I have a latest build of the 5 versus 5, and we keep talking about holding a play session. I think he was talking with some of our Void Keepers, who are some of our earliest supporters, about testing this weekend. I haven't heard anything about that in the last day or so, so I'm not sure it's going to happen. I think he's just really busy right now. He's had a lot on his plate. He had to draw up some contracts for the full stack development team that we were hiring, so that also took him a bit of time over the last week to take care of. So I think he's probably just a little bit low on time to hold that gameplay session. But we like the design of a game. We think it's fun. And also on that note, we're developing that trailer for 5 versus 5. We're going to hold a land sale, and I think I want those to earn you some tokens, Metasource tokens as well. It's not really something I've talked to Josh about yet, but I think he'll probably think it's a good idea. We can just give them a little bit of something extra for holding those lands, and those lands will give people the passive tokens for buying like loot boxes and stuff in our 5 versus 5. And so that is all still coming. The job token, it's why we built the company in the first place. But I will say that it seems like we've kind of gone through a little detour with Wax, Atomic Hub, and the Metasource cards, but I think it's really healthy for us to have gone down this path, because it's connecting us to other people in the gaming space who are closer to our level. Gala Games is now a behemoth. They're like 150 to $200 million strong now in terms of investments and money made from sales. It's not even counting the token value. So they're big boys now. We'll be big boys later, but we're getting really up close and personal now with people who are playing blockchain gaming at the most basic level. And what I like about Wax is that the people playing on Wax are also probably there because they don't want to pay $20, $30 in gas fees. Maybe to some rich people, $30 in gas fees don't matter, but for most people of average income, $30 is a decent chunk of change. It's a really, really nice dinner with someone you love. So that's kind of my stance. Do you have any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much for providing us with those answers. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Leximus. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being with us for so long. I think you're also one of the earliest people to have joined us on Discord here. It's good to have you with us.
Yeah, I got like one of the earliest cards as well. So yeah, it's great to support like someone that appreciates like the vision that's more towards the players instead of like the company. Like some games or some companies are gearing towards too. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Likewise. Very kind words. Thank you, Leximus. We'll chat with you soon.
For sure. Thank you.
All right. So nobody else has raised their hand to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and roll off the winner for the Metasource card here. So I'm going to go to manage the giveaway. Let's see. Pick winners. Here we go. And there's auto pick, which will randomize the winner. So drum roll, please. Yeah, this is hilarious. Aleximus, you are the winner. Should have done this while you were still in here. Cool. So congratulations, Aleximus. Thank you everybody who participated in the giveaway there and who's participated in this Q&A session. I'm willing to take one more question. I'm going to open up, and if there's no one else who wants to ask a question, then we'll close down the stage for the night. All right. So there appears to be no more questions, and yeah, all right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us here at Blockchain Kingdoms, our community night, and thank you so much for your questions and your support. If you have any other questions after this, feel free to reach out to me either privately or in our community chat, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to join our Discord. Link at the bottom of the video. Go to our shop at shop.blockchainkingdoms.com. Thank you for listening and watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys the next time.